really warm welcome to Urban Flower Collective. If it's your first time here, then welcome. If you're returning, then welcome back. My name's Lisa, I'm your host here. So today it's another from the archives. This is tutorial 3 of 4 different succulent tutorials. This time I'm showing you how to make a succulent just using simple rose petal cutters. I hope you enjoy it. If you put all 4 together, then you'll have a really nice arrangement of different shapes of succulents, or you can use them individually. So I hope you enjoy this lesson. Remember, if you need any help, you can join our free Facebook group, Urban Flower Collective, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell and you'll be first to see all the new tutorials. I hope you show me your succulents if you make them, and I shall see you soon. Bye for now. Now I'm going to show you an alternative cutter that you can use to make a nice succulent as well. So this is definitely something that you are going to have in your toolkit, and it's just this simple rose cutter. So for this tutorial I've got 5 rose petal cutters. So I've gone from the tiniest one up to number 5, and that's going to be enough to make a nice succulent. So what we're going to do is exactly the same as we did for the proper cutter succulent, but this time using the rose petal cutter. So I've already rolled out some flower paste. Again, I've coloured it with gooseberry, so it's a really nice pale colour for our base. You can see there. So we're going to use that, and I'll just cut one of each petal and show you how I do it. So starting off with a tiny one, we'll pop that out. In fact, I'm going to put them on the petal pad so you can see them a little bit better. So for the tiny one, I'm only going to have 2 this time. And then next size up, again, I'm going to cut out 6, sorry. I may not use them all, but I shall cut out 6 of those. And the next size up, again, I'm going to do 6 of those. Cut them out at the end. The next size up, I'm going to cut 7, I think, and see how I go. I may not use them all, but I'm going to cut 7 of those. And then for the final one, I think I'm just going to cut 5 of these. So next thing, we need our 24 gauge wire again. So just the same as last time. So we'll chop that up, and I'll show you what we do with the first flower. So what we're going to do is just try and elongate it. Now the pointy bit that you can see here, that is going to be the top or the tip of our succulent petal. So I'm just going to go around the 2 sides a little bit to thin out those sides and just elongate it a little bit. I'm going to do the same on each one. So just hold it carefully at the bottom, don't press down, because that's where we're going to pop our wire in, so we need that to stay chunky. But you can see I've just thinned out the sides and elongated the petal slightly. So this is going to give us a bigger succulent, just because the rose petal cutters are larger than the bespoke succulent ones, but that's quite nice. I haven't cut that one very well, have I? So just thinning out the sides and elongating it. And then on our last one, number 5, which we probably only need 5 of because it's quite a big size petal. Same again, just thin out those sides, elongate it slightly. And now we're going to pop in our wires. So I've got some egg white here. Again, you can use edible glue if you prefer. I'm going to start with the smallest one, and just holding it top and bottom, we're just going to guide that wire in about halfway. So a little bit of glue, finger and thumb at the top and bottom, just guide in that wire. So there we go. So next, what we're going to do is take some foam, some sort of bubble foam here, more of a sponge than the petal pad. And starting with the smallest, we're going to take our Dresden tool, and using the pointier end of the Dresden tool, we're just going to make a crease down the middle and a crease down either side, sort of veins. We're then going to nip the end of that and just curl over the bottom as well. So it's a bit of a heart shape really. Can you see what I've done there? Maybe see it easier on this camera. So it's probably easier to see with the larger petals. So we're going to do the same again, next size up. So a vein down the middle, a vein down the side, a vein down the other side, and it curls the petal over a little bit. We're going to nip the top, we're going to sort of fold in and nip that bottom like that. Now you may want to shape it again. For this one, I'm going to show you a little tip because these are quite big and I want to shape them in a little bit. So I'm going to use a serving spoon. This is just a plastic serving spoon, and again I'm going to make my own former, petal former for this. So I'm just going to put some tin foil into there and I'm going to lay this in. And that will give us a little curve on this petal. I'm going to nip it in a bit at the bottom because it didn't stick. I'm going to lay it in there, and that will just give us a nice gentle curve on that petal. Leave it like that. So there are 5 petals. You can see they're curling in quite nicely and holding their shape quite nicely, and that's all we need to do. I've cut out all of my petals for the succulent using the rose petal cutters, and now I'm going to show you how I'm going to dust these ones up and how we'll put that together. So you can see it's not too different from the last petals from the actual succulent cutters. So you can see they're not too different at all. So let's go. I've kept one of each, so we've got 5 different size petals here. I've saved one of each to show you how I'm going to dust these up. So this time I think I'm just going to go for a dark colour. These are actually going to go on a cake that I'm making for this weekend. And as I've said before, you can go wild with your colours. You can be as outrageous as you want, as frivolous as you want, you know, do lots of different colours. You can do lovely pinks. But for me, these have to be greens for this cake. So again, I'm going to go darker green this time. So last time I did the variegated yellows and greens, but this time I'm going to do more of a solid green just to give a little bit of contrast on the cake. So I'm using a moss green. This one is rainbow dust and it's moss green. But you know, I don't particularly have a favourite brand for petal dusts. I use whatever colour I'm needing at the time. And I have a really big selection of petal dusts, so yeah, just play around with them, lots of different brands, lots of different colours. So that's the green on. So now I'm going to go for this aubergine, and again it's rainbow dust aubergine, and I'm just going to go around the edges, but this time I'm going to do more of a tip. So if you can see here, I'm just going to go right down, because a lot of the succulents I've got in the house, you have this kind of aubergine-y, purpley, pinky tip. So I've gone a bit further down with the colour, so just a bit further down the leaf, and then again I'm going to edge it with the aubergine. And again, it just makes it come to life, I think, when you get this colour on. Succulent cutters. So there we go, we're a little bit messy again, but never mind, let's see what we can do here. So you'll be glad to hear I've dusted all of the others up. So actually, let me just fold this over. I'm going to keep the white so you can see what I'm actually doing, but I'll just fold it over so we don't get dust everywhere. So I've actually got 3 small petals, but I'm only going to use 2. And then we've got all the others here. So let's start off with our smallest first. Again, I'm just going to use half width florist tape for this. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm just going to bend it back a tiny bit for this one. So you can see there, not too bent back, just a tiny, tiny little bit. And what we're going to do is just put these together. And I want them to go like this. So you can see how I'm going to tape these up. So give your florist tape a stretch. And let's make a start. So I'm going to tape these 2 together. If they move, don't worry, we'll get them back together. I want them to look just like a tiny little shoot. That would be, you know, if you've planted some seeds and the little shoots come up, that's how we want these to look. So just 2 tiny little leaves, and they're really cute. And that's all I'm going to do for that. I just wanted 2 to go together. If you want to put 2 more on, you can do. If you want to do 3 or 4, but I like that look with just 2 together. Now we're going to go for our next size. And we're going to just have to turn these back a little bit more. But you can see they don't look anything like a rose now, do they? Once they've been, you know, they're nice and thick. We've used them upside down and we've got them dusted up. They are looking rather succulent-like. So as I say, you can try it with any of your cutter sets that you've got. Have some fun with it. Have a little play around. There we go, that's quite a nice little compact succulent, and I don't think you would ever know that that was made from a rose cutter. You can see it's not too dissimilar from the real succulent cutter, and that's you using something that you've already got in your toolkit. Make it as big as you want, go bigger with the petals if you want. I wanted to keep this one a little bit more compact. You know, you can open up the petals a little more, you can keep them as compact as I have, but just have fun with it, you know, go and play around, have some fun. Let's see what we can make with the cutters that we've got. Thanks for watching.